Hey, and welcome to day one. Here's a funny thing about artificial intelligence. You've used it probably a dozen times already today, and yet if I asked you to explain what it actually is, most people kind of freeze. That's totally normal, because AI gets talked about like it's either magic or some scary robot from the movies. It's neither. So over the next few minutes, I want to do two things. First, give you a clear, honest answer to the question, what is AI really? And second, and this is the fun part, we're going to build a real, working AI chatbot together, live, in about 30 lines of code, and watch it actually talk back. Let's get into it. Let's clear the biggest myth out of the way first. AI is not magic, and it is not a conscious mind living inside your phone. Underneath all of it is math. A computer program that has looked at an enormous number of examples and gotten really, really good at spotting patterns in them. That's the engine. When you hear someone say a machine learned something, what they mean is it found a pattern in a mountain of data. Hold on to that idea, because once it clicks, the whole field stops feeling mysterious and starts feeling like something you can actually understand. And here's the proof that it's not some far-off future thing. You already lean on AI constantly. When your Maps app reroutes you around a traffic jam, that's AI weighing thousands of options. When Netflix or YouTube somehow knows the next thing you'll want to watch, that's AI learning your taste. When your phone unlocks just by looking at your face, that's AI recognizing you out of billions of possible faces. Even your email silently deciding what's spam and what's not. None of these are robots. They're just smart pattern matchers, working quietly in the background of your everyday life. So let's nail down a real definition. Artificial intelligence is when a machine does a task that would normally need human thinking. Things like recognizing a face, predicting a word, making a decision, or creating something new. And the key shift, the thing that makes modern AI different from old-fashioned software, is how it gets there. We don't sit down and write out every rule by hand. Instead, we show the machine tons of examples and let it figure out the pattern on its own. So when people say intelligence, what's really happening under the hood is incredibly good pattern matching, learned from data. Now, there's an important split worth knowing. Almost all the AI that exists today is what we call narrow AI. It's fantastic at one specific kind of task. The model that filters your spam can't drive a car, and the one that recognizes faces can't write you a poem. Each is a specialist. Then there's the idea of general AI. A single system that could learn anything a human can, switch between any task, and reason across all of them. That's the version you see in movies, and to be clear, it does not exist yet. When you hear AI in the news today, they almost always mean the narrow kind. It's just as useful to know what AI is not. It is not conscious. It doesn't have feelings, desires, or any awareness that it exists. It's not a perfect database of facts either, which means it can sometimes state something completely wrong with total confidence. It predicts and pattern matches. It doesn't truly know things the way you do. And it's usually not a physical robot at all. The vast majority of AI is invisible software running on servers. Keep these in your back pocket. They'll save you from a lot of the hype and a lot of the fear. Okay, that's the concept. But I don't want this to just be talk. Because honestly, the best way to understand AI is to build a tiny piece of it yourself and watch it work. So that's exactly what we're going to do right now. We're going to write a small chatbot, a real one, that connects to a powerful AI model called Claude and lets us have an actual conversation with it. It's only about 30 lines of code. Don't worry if you've never programmed before. I'll walk through every single line in plain English. Follow along, or just watch. Either way, by the end, you'll have seen real AI working, not a slide about it. First, a tiny bit of setup. To talk to an AI model, we use a small software library that handles all the messy networking for us. We install it with one command, pip install Anthropic. Then we need a key, basically a password that proves we're allowed to use the model. You grab that from your Anthropic account, and we plug it in here. That's the entire setup. 2 commands. And our computer is now able to reach out and talk to one of the most capable AI models on the planet. Pretty wild that this is all it takes. Now the code. Watch it appear line by line. Up top, we import that library we just installed. Then we read in our key from the environment. so it never has to be typed directly into the file. Next, this line creates what's called a client. Think of it as our private phone line straight to the AI. We also pick which model to call. We're using a fast, affordable one called Claude-powered. And finally, see that empty list called history? That is going to be the chatbot's memory. Every message, ours and the AI's, gets stored there so the bot can remember the whole conversation. That little list is more important than it looks. And here's the heart of it. This loop just repeats forever. First, it waits for you to type something. It saves your message into that history list. Then comes the magic line, client.messages.create. That's where we hand the whole conversation to the AI and ask, given everything said so far, what would you say next? The model thinks and sends back its answer. We pull the text out, save the bot's reply into history too, and print it to the screen. Then the loop goes right back to the top, ready for your next message. That's genuinely the entire program. 30 lines, and most of them are just bookkeeping. Moment of truth. We save the file and run it with Python chatbot.py. And there it is. The program starts up and tells us it's ready, waiting for our first message. This isn't a recording or a fake demo, by the way. This is the actual program we just wrote, now live and connected to a real AI model, sitting there waiting for us to say something. So let's talk to it. Let's start by asking it the very question this whole lesson is about. In one sentence, what is artificial intelligence? We hit enter, the message flies off to the model, and a second later, this comes back. Artificial intelligence is technology that learns from data to perform tasks and make decisions in ways that normally require human thinking. Look at that. Our little 30-line program just gave a clear, accurate definition in its own words. And notice it lines up almost exactly with what we said earlier. That answer wasn't stored in our code anywhere. The model generated it on the spot. Let's push it a little. Give me 3 examples of AI I probably use today. And back it comes. Search engines like Google, the social feeds that personalize what you see, and voice assistants like Siri. Notice these are real, sensible examples, the same kinds of everyday AI we talked about at the start. The bot is doing a task that genuinely needs human-like thinking. It understood a vague question and produced a helpful, organized answer. No human wrote those examples into our program. It reasoned them out. Now the really interesting one. So is AI just robots that think and feel like humans? And the answer it gives is honestly better than a lot of people would give. No, it says it's software that finds patterns and makes decisions from data. It doesn't truly think or feel, and most AI runs invisibly on your devices, no robot involved. That's exactly the myth we busted earlier, coming straight out of the machine. And here's the subtle, beautiful part. It answered in the flow of our chat, because it could see the whole conversation in that history list. Which brings me to one last point. That sense of the bot remembering what we've been talking about? There's no mystery to it. It's that little history list we set up. Every turn, we sent the entire conversation back to the model, so each answer had the full context. The AI itself has no built-in memory between messages. We gave it one, with a single line of code. And that's a theme you'll see again and again in this series. The big, impressive behaviors often come from simple, understandable pieces stacked together. So step back and take in what we just did. In a few minutes, with about 30 lines of code, we built a real piece of artificial intelligence and had a genuine conversation with it. It's narrow AI, a specialist at language. It did something that clearly needs human-like thinking, understanding our questions and answering them well. And it does that purely from patterns it learned in data. No magic, no consciousness, no robot in sight. Just software, math, and a whole lot of examples, exactly like we said at the very beginning. That, right there, is what AI really is. If today did its job, AI should feel a little less like magic and a lot more like something you actually get now. It's machines doing thinking-style tasks by learning patterns from examples, and you just watch one come to life. Tomorrow, we'll untangle 3 words that get thrown around like they mean the same thing, but really don't. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, and deep learning. Once you see how they nest inside each other, a ton of the confusion just disappears. Thanks for building with me today. See you tomorrow on AI in 5.